Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at something a bit different for our unseen poetry lesson. We are going to do The World Turned Upside Down, which is a song in the Hamilton musical. What I love about this song is that it conveys some brilliant political and historical messages in a poetic way, in a hip hop kind of way. So it's very relevant to today's audience and something that I think would be fun to analyse, rather than the usual poems that we look at in our lessons. So our do now today is going to look at these 4 lines. Now these 4 lines aren't from the song, but they do have a connection to the song. Okay, so if ponies rode men and grass ate the cows, just what tune was in the air when the world turned upside down? So I want you to analyse these 4 lines and answer these 3 questions. So number 1, what do you think today's poem will be about? Number 2, what message do you think the poet is trying to convey? And 3, what is the effect on the reader? As an extension, I would like you to define the term defamiliarization. Okay, these are our learning objectives as well. So 1, to discover the importance of poetry as a force to convey key political, cultural, social and historical messages. To focus on multiple interpretations and connotations, and to create a poster or a podcast detailing the background and context behind the lyrics of today's song. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background and context on the Battle of Yorktown, which this song is all about. So when British General Lord Charles Cornwallis and his army surrendered to General George Washington's American force and its French allies at the Battle of Yorktown on the 19th of October 1781, it was more than just a military win. The outcome in Yorktown, Virginia, marked the conclusion of the last major battle of the American Revolution and the start of a new nation's independence. It also cemented Washington's reputation as a great leader and eventual election as first President of the United States. Okay, so your task for this, or your extension, is to create a biography of George Washington. So this could be a poster, a paragraph, or a presentation of some type. Okay, your next task, I'm going to give you 5 poetic techniques and I want you to define these words and tell me the usual purpose they have in a poem. You have 5 minutes and you can time yourself by clicking the cream circle on the top right hand corner. So anaphora, repetition, caesura, epistrophe and colloquialism. You've then got an extension task on who was Rochambeau. This guy was mentioned in the song. So on this next slide, what I've done is I've taken 3 excellent verses from the song that I think are the most kind of significant. I have put in bold words which you could analyse. So as you can see, we've got some alliteration here with new nation, fallen foes here, we've got alliteration here, and we've got some sibilants going on here with stagger, single, streets and screams. You could definitely analyse this idea of church bells ringing. On the second verse that I've chosen, we've got redefining bravery, we'll never be free until we end slavery. Okay, so we've got some really interesting and powerful language going on here. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of context on who Alexander Hamilton was. So Alexander Hamilton was born in the British West Indies and later became General George Washington's assistant. In 1788, as one of America's founding fathers, he convinced New Yorkers to agree to ratify the US Constitution. Hamilton, an avowed Federalist, then served as the nation's first Secretary of the Treasury from 1789 to 1795. Importantly, Hamilton was particularly well known for his excellent writing. So he wrote most of the US Constitution. I'm also going to give you some context on Lin Manuel Miranda, who wrote the whole of this musical. So he was born in 1980 in New York. He's an American actor, composer, lyricist, and writer who created and starred in stage productions that blended modern musical forms with classical music theatre. Perhaps his best known work was Hamilton, a hip-hop musical about Alexander Hamilton. As an extension task, I want you to choose one verse to analyse. What language and structural techniques has Miranda used? Okay, so I'm just going to play this. This is the whole song.
The Battle of Yorktown, 1781.
Monsieur Hamilton,
Monsieur Lafayette,
in command when you belong.
are you saying no sweat? We're finally on the field, we've had quite a run.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
So what happens if we win?
I go back to France and bring freedom to my people if I'm given the chance.
We'll be with you when you do.
Go, lead your
I'll
man.
see you on the other side.
Till we meet again.
I am not thrown away my shot. I am not thrown away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not thrown away my shot. I am not thrown away my shot. Till the world turns upside down. Till the world turns upside down. I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. This is where it gets me. On my feet, the enemy ahead of me. If this is the end of me, at least I have a friend with me. Weapon in my hand, a command, and my men with me. Then I remember my allies is expecting me. Not only that, my allies is expecting. We gotta go, gotta get the job done. Gotta start a new nation, gotta meet my son. Take the bullets out your gun, the bullets out your gun. We move undercover and we move as one. Through the night we have one shot to live another day. We can mount at a straight gunshot. Give us a way, we will fight up close. Seize the moment and stay in it. It's either that or meet the business end of a bayonet. The code word is Rochambeau. Dig me? Rochambeau. You have your orders now, go and go. So the American experiment begins with my friends all scattered to the winds. Lawrence is in South Carolina, redefining bravery. We'll never be free until we end slavery. When we finally drive the British away, Lafayette is there waiting in Chesapeake Bay. How did we know that this plan would work? We had a spy on the inside. That's right. Hercules Mulligan.
Tell a spying on the British government. I take the measurements, information, and then I smuggle it to my brother's revolutionary covenant. I'm running with the sons of liberty, and I am loving it. See, that's what happens when you up against the Ruffians. We in it now, somebody's gotta shovel it. Hercules Mulligan, I need no introduction when you knock me down again. Back up again.
After a week of fighting, a young man in a red coat stands on a parapet.
We lower our guns as he frantically waves their white handkerchief.
And just like that, it's over. We tend to our wounded. We count our dead.
Black and white soldiers wonder alike if this really means freedom.
Not yet.
We negotiate the terms of surrender. I see George Washington smile. We escort their men out of Yorktown. They stagger home single file. Tens of thousands of people flood the streets. There are screams and church bells ringing. And as our fallen foes retreat, I hear the drinking song they're singing. The world turned upside down. The world turned upside down. The world turned upside down. Down, 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 down.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for listening to that. So I think it's quite obvious then that this song deals a lot with race and or racism. So that is something that I really want you to think about for this apply section of your work today. So I want you to think about, what is the significance of race in this song? How does Miranda deal with the theme of race and or racism in this song? So just bear that in mind, please, when you're thinking about key words, key symbols, key motives, things like that, okay? So, your task: create a poster or a podcast detailing the key messages of this song. You will need to think about 4 elements: background and context of Hamilton, Rochambeau, Washington, and or Lin Manuel Miranda. Summary and analysis of key themes, symbols, and poetic techniques. And I want you to think carefully about the messages you want that you would like to convey to your audience. Do you want them to learn anything? If so, what is the best way to make sure this happens? So yes, that is your task for today. If you are doing a podcast or a video, please could you email it to me, because I don't think you can upload voice recordings to Teams yet. So yeah, that would be great. Then this is your review task. So please write down something you will take away from this lesson, 1 question you still have about this lesson, and the task that you are most proud of today and why. That would be great. Thanks for listening, guys, and I will speak to you soon.